Yes, people. Hello. How you doing? How are we? Happy New Year. Happy New Year's Eve. Happy whatever. It's just another Wednesday. The day before Liverpool play a football game. What are you gonna do? But happy early New Year to everybody. Um, Big up if you're here. Appreciate you hanging out. Today we're gonna talk a little bit about the game tomorrow. Today, we're going to talk a little bit about the situation at Liverpool Football Club. The year comes to a close, so we might as well highlight just a little bit a year in review, right? A year that starts off fantastic, a year that ends maybe not so good, maybe a little bit the shit, maybe the worst run of form in 60 years. Who knows? But nonetheless, we must be grateful, right? We got to be grateful for what happened in the first half of the year. It doesn't matter about what happened in the second half of the year because you got this in the first half of the year. But either way, we're going to talk a little bit about everything Liverpool. But first and foremost, I hope you guys all have a fantastic New Year's Eve. Stay safe tonight, whatever you hooligans are going to be up to. And, if you're in the far reaches of the planet, and New Year's has already hit, well, then you know what? Congratulations and happy 2026. But I'm going to venture out and say that no one here is in 2026 yet. But either way, this is usually a one-man show. It's usually solo dolo, right? But I've been lacking energy lately. I've been lacking conviction. I've been lacking passion. My love for this football club is slowly being forced out of me by a very particular bald cuck. So, with that being said, I have a guest today. Um, Big up to him. I appreciate him giving me his time. But either way, let's give a warm welcome to Jerry James. Here we go. Jerry James with the Oakland Athletics hat representing Oakland and the Sun.
Yeah, man. Exactly. Representing. I was like, you know what? Mike's got the hat on. He's got the sunglasses. I was like, I've got to match the energy, isn't it? I've got to match the energy. So I've come in with the same energy. But unfortunately, Guy, I mean, this is more directed towards Mike. I don't think I'll be able to provide that energy for you, man. I mean, my
Hey,
love,
listen,
my
listen, listen,
my
listen.
love. Listen, I haven't been watching the games. I've been going out. I just listen. The energy I'm bringing now is it's vibes. Honestly, it's vibes. But big up to the chat. I'm happy to be on, and yeah, I'm looking forward to this review.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, listen, it's hard to be passionate about something when there's a death cloud hanging over you. You know, it's like you can enjoy the sunlight, but then you look around and you realize you're just in the eye of the hurricane, and eventually the wind is going to come back, and you're going to be fucked. But either way, we did have, at least in the first half of this year, we did have something to celebrate. Like we won our second Premier League title in the Premier League era. It's not our second English Football League championship, but nonetheless, Premier League champions. And I'm not going to take away anything from the squad, from the coaches who got that over the line. But that doesn't mean that you get to fuck me. It doesn't mean that just because you did that, that doesn't mean that you get leeway in the future. Um, but no, listen, I hear it. A lot of people, I understand if you're lacking that conviction at the current moment because, you know, dropping points in 8 games out of what is it, 18? I believe
Mm.
I believe we've played at this point. It's not exactly good. That means you're winning a little over 50% of your games, which doesn't sound like championship form to me. Um, but either way, let's just jump right into it. Looking forward to tomorrow. Well, I guess first and foremost, are you going to watch the game?
What time is it?
Mm,
Um, that'll
I
be
believe
what time is it your side? Then I'll work it out.
here we go. Liverpool. Okay, so it's 9:30, so
So
that
five
means it's at
thirty.
5:30. Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe. Depends.
Maybe New Year's Day, first game of
Maybe
the year.
first game of the year. Maybe listen, first game of the year. But let's be honest. It's just another. It'll be another Thursday.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
just
yeah.
another Thursday, right? So for me, I'm looking at it and I'm just like, depends. Depends. We're playing. What is it? It's Leeds, isn't it?
Leads at home. You know,
It
if I'm not
does that require
mistaken,
my energy? Does that require my energy? I don't know. I don't know.
I mean, listen, in current day, yes. If I'm not mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong. The last time Leeds played Liverpool at home, was that the Jesse March game?
Yes, correct. That was
They
the
went they went down that season too.
yeah. So
Listen,
listen,
people, I don't mean to drag poor memories for people, but I remember Jesse March sprinting to the away section very well. Very well. You fucking Canadian asshole.
it's crazy. It's crazy. Look, I might watch it. I'm going to be really honest. I might do if I'm not busy. If I'm busy, right?
Of course, of
Then,
course.
then of course, then. Yeah, I mean, things. It used to be the other way, Mike. If I was busy, I'll try to move stuff away to watch Liverpool. Now I'm just like, I'll just catch it on the radio. I'll check the scores, or I'll catch the second half. So we'll see. But does it really need my energy? Does it? Like, do you know what I mean? Luckily, I don't do watch-alongs. I don't sit there and
We
you
don't
know,
we don't we don't do that anymore. We don't do
great,
that here anymore.
great,
We don't
great,
do that anymore. I
exactly.
watched, what was the last one I did? Um I I can't even remember. But I just remember doing it and basically saying, I'm done. I basically quit live. I was like, I'm never doing this again. This is not worth my energy. It's not worth my time. Um, but no, I mean, listen, I hear you. It's it works the other way now. It's like now it's a chore. Now it feels like an inconvenient obligation to watch this football club every single week. But
Exactly, and I refuse for it to become an obligation.
I
because
hear you.
because the more I was watching it, the quicker my life. Do you know what I compare it to? Right? You know, like in Tekken where you've got the health bar, right?
Yeah.
And the more you just stand in front of the opponent, the more your health bar you're just getting hit. And literally, I was on the last. Literally, I'm on the last threads. If I sit through a couple more horrible performances, I might be on here with a city top.
Did you watch the Wolves game?
No, I didn't. I didn't. I caught maybe 10 minutes of the second half, and I saw Andre and Gomez. Sorry, not Andre Gomez. Andre and Gomez, two midfielders that Liverpool were linked with, popping our five-man midfield about with a Ekitike that had dropped in, and I saw that and was like, oh, okay, well, this is the
Well,
same as same shit, different game.
I mean, listen, to be fair, I wasn't happy with the performance against Wolves. The goal we conceded was a set piece. And at the end, I did feel like we were playing like cowards, but it must be said that we didn't we weren't giving up chances, right? Like the final 25 minutes of that game, I would say it was very passive without danger. But the issue that I had was that it was passive, right? Like Wolves had the ball, Wolves had possession, but they weren't doing anything with it. It wasn't like Tottenham, right? Like where Tottenham were legit dangerous with 10 men or even 9 men. It wasn't danger. It was just that, why is this the mentality? Why is this what I'm seeing? Why am I not seeing dominance at the end of the game against the worst Premier League side in history? Again, at that point, they had 2 points out of 51 available, I believe. So that's like categorically the worst team in history. And yet this is how you're going to close out this game. It wasn't like the Tottenham game. So I have to give them just a little bit of
But
credit.
but right, is that due to the fact that Liverpool were just really good at nullifying their chances, or were Wolves just rubbish?
No, no, Wolves just don't have quality. Wolves just
Exactly.
don't have quality.
So
Wolves
at
just
that
don't have
point, it doesn't
quality.
matter. I saw their big 6'6" striker head the ball just over the bar. I saw
Yeah,
them
he
score a
had
set piece.
he did have a free header.
Yeah, I saw. Listen, at this point, we just sound like broken records, Mike. We're actually doing these guys a favor because right now what we're doing is just speaking about football in different languages and different tones but it's the same thing. You go onto this stream, everyone's saying the same thing. You go onto that stream, everyone's saying the same thing now. It seems to
Yeah.
be a general consensus. This is just garbage. And if you're struggling to dominate against a Wolves side at home, God
Oh,
forbid,
well,
God forbid.
listen. If you're struggling to dominate against 9 men,
No, of
full
course I forgot
stop,
about that. Then it
full
doesn't matter.
stop,
Exactly, exactly,
full
exactly,
stop, nine
exactly.
men, full stop. No, but listen. At the end of the day, the Wolves game, the positives that I take away, Ekitike is an absolute dog. I love him. Florian Wirtz finally gets his first goal. Only 17 games later, so let's not get too shameless, people. Let's not get too shameless here. At the end of the day, it's still right now very much up in the air signing. Jeremy Frimpong, fantastic. Setting up Ryan Gravenberch. But that's about it. Those are about the only positive. Oh, and also Milos Kirkes. These last 4 games.
Well, because you've been
This is
working hard.
what? No, 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 no. This is what happens when a left back actually plays left back and
Yeah,
doesn't convert into a
but
third center
have
back.
you enjoyed watching him play, or has it just been like
I think.
dogged performances where defensively he's just trying hard? I have seen no quality from him going forward to suggest he's a
Well,
Liverpool
okay.
standard
I
left back. I'm
I
sorry.
think I think that he's very raw, right? It's a lot of energy. I
Oh
do
God,
find, first and foremost, he's 22
guys.
years old, right? So he's young.
No,
Second,
no, no, Mike. No, no, no,
hold
no,
on, Jerry.
no,
Let me
no.
land. Let me land. Let me land. I felt like over the last 3 games, Kirkes is finding himself getting to the byline. And a lot of the times where he puts the ball into the middle, there's no one home, right? Like at the end of the day, if I'm going to have a wing back overlapping and I play the overlapping pass and you get to the byline and you have a man on you, someone has to be in the middle to receive the service. And it's like Kirkes can only deliver a perfect pass so many times. And I'm not even saying that the passes that he's been delivering are perfect, but what I'm saying is that when he's delivering, when he gets to the byline, more often than not, there's no one crashing the near post, right? There's no one home. There's no one there. So I can't crash it out on him if the delivery gets blocked, but there's not a single Liverpool player within 5 meters of the guy who just made the clearance, or within 2 meters of the guy who just made the clearance. So, do I think that he has room for improvement? Absolutely. Do I think that he's dog shit? Under no circumstance. Do I think that he has to play as a traditional left back? Yes. I don't think he
Yeah,
can do any of this inverting shit.
I agree.
Obviously, in possession, we saw Curtis Jones dropping into the left back to build up, which again is, if Soboslai was on the pitch, I think we would have just done it on the right hand side, and Soboslai would have been dropping into right back, which is not something I necessarily like, and which also adds to Kirkes looking bad, because now he's basically telling Kirkes in possession, vacate your position and go be the hybrid left winger to just run off of Florian Wirtz, and he's kind of just like, okay, you want me to just wing it? Like, I don't really understand what you're
Wing.
telling me to do. Like, so like a lot of the times when I see him offensively, I feel like he's just being told, hey, Curtis has taken up your spot. Go be useful somewhere else. And that's the instruction. And I'm just thinking to myself, how is a player supposed to succeed under that circumstance? So I think there are fair criticisms of him, but I also think that, he has the intangibles that I want out of a left back. He gives ridiculous effort defensively. If he stays on that channel, he's
He
not a
has done.
liability. And right now, based on the left back over the last 2 seasons, I just don't want a defensive liability. And I don't feel like he is based off the last 5 games. So I'm going to take that as a win. And going forward, I think he can improve. But again, it's much like Cody Gakpo. Even if I get the ball into a dangerous position, that's just step one. There's still step two, step three. Who is he going to pass to? And is that person open? And more often than not, there's no one to pass to, and there's no one open. So how could I be so critical, if that makes sense?
No, I get you. I get you. And I think he's been better. I think he's actually been better. I just don't rate him. I mean, I never have really. I remember we were saying that.
That's
It's
fair.
just,
That's fair.
and that's what it. And I just don't think he's Liverpool level. That's what I think. I think he's decent. I think he's energy, all of that. But the quality going forward, to your point, right? he just hitting it into a box and be like, yeah, someone be there. At Liverpool, we're expecting a bit more, a bit more finesse in those areas. But you're right, defensively he's got a bit better. He's working harder. He's one of the ones that tries, isn't it? So you never
He
mind
gives
having someone like that in your team.
110%, bro.
Exactly. Yeah, he's
Bro,
one of exactly. So it is what it is. It is what it is. I just wanted to make sure that we're not overselling his
I'm not
performance. I'm not
saying he's the
saying you
best
will.
left back in
No,
the league.
I know
I'm
you won't say that, but I know in the chat, well, not this chat, but usually in the chat, it'll be Kirkes is the best. He's showing his
No,
form.
he's
I'm like,
improving.
well,
He's improving, and
he's
I
improving.
expect
It's
I
beautiful.
expect him to continue to make incremental improvements. At a certain point, if the offense, like if the deliveries don't get better, then I'll start to change my mind.
Mm,
But these last three games are like the only times where he's actually getting the ball in the final third. So
you're
for
right.
the majority of the season, he's getting ignored. So I couldn't really judge that. Frimpong obviously is a little bit different, but I hold Frimpong in a much different
High,
regard
exactly. He's a different level of player.
offensively
Exactly. Yeah.
because, Frimpong was one of the best attacking wingbacks in Europe for Leverkusen. So I expect that. Like that delivery he made to Gravenberch, I expect those kinds of runs from Jeremy Frimpong. I expect you to just do people in, get to the byline, outpace everyone, and then, cut one back across the box and Gravenberch is home. Great finish by Ryan Gravenberch as well. But I just, again, with all players, at least this season, I'm trying to be as fair as possible. Even with someone like Cody Gakpo, like trying to be as fair as possible and not just looking at what's the final product, but what are the circumstances around that and how often are they put in a position to succeed. And I don't think any of these players are consistently ever put in a position to succeed. So I can't crash it. Like I can call them out, I can be critical, but I can't crash out, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I get you. I get you.
Why the shades?
Uh,
Are you on drugs? I don't want you to know where my eyes are looking. And also, I live in America. It's a free country. I'll do whatever the fuck I want. But listen, either way, looking forward to tomorrow. Obviously, Soboslai will be back. We're still at that stage where we have a depleted front line. I think the only available frontline players will be Ekitike, Rio Engamoa, and Federico Chiesa. But based off, how we played against Wolves, even if Chiesa's on the pitch, we ain't gonna fucking touch that right-hand side. Chiesa is the only one who had a shitty rating, but guess what? The only time we went down the right-hand side was when Frimpong fucking crossed it to Gravenberch. I don't think we went down the right another time that whole game. So what are your expectations tomorrow in terms of how the game is going to sort of play out?
I don't know, man. I really don't know. It's going to be more of the
Oh,
same, I
Gakpo's
think.
back. Apologies.
Gakpo's back. Gakpo is back.
Gakpo is back.
Whether he starts, I don't think so. I don't think he starts. Unless there's energy issues with any of the forwards that played, purely because Chiesa can play on the right. Vert's done well from the left in the game in terms of getting a goal.
Have
So
down the
look,
middle. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, but you get my point, right? Is
Yeah,
that
yeah, yeah,
he
yeah,
looked
yeah.
comfortable there, the little skills. So it's like, all right, you probably want to keep him there. I mean, I would. So I'm looking at it probably more of the same, really. I expect a decent first 15, 20 minutes because it's at home. The fans will be up and raring to go. Um, and then after that, I mean, Bob's your uncle in terms of like, I mean, anything can happen at that point. Anything can happen. I mean, miracles. I mean, it could be a New Year miracle for Leeds. Listen, they need to just score one goal and everything could change. Right now, Calvert-Lewin seems to be on fire. They go direct, which isn't
Yeah.
Liverpool's best friend. Set pieces, long throw-ins. Look, it's going to be a tough game. But the expectation is that Liverpool win the game. I mean, the expectation is that Liverpool win 98% of their games purely based on the fact that they've got good players,
Yeah.
right? But we know what the manager's been doing. We know what a hindrance he is to the team at the moment. We know just the structure of just in terms of like the tactical side of things for Liverpool is terrible. I mean, the set piece coach leaving midway through a season, and that doesn't bode well. Do you know what I mean? It's not like he's moved on to, I mean, past his new, we've got a better job. Nah, he's just been sacked. So I'm for me, I'm
You
looking at
see
it
this?
and
You
yeah,
see this guy? Bro, this is cold brew with whole milk, okay, from a cow. That's not very vegan. Whole milk straight from the tit of a cow
listen,
and
I'm not
some
gonna
cold
lie,
brew.
I'm an almond milk guy. I'm an almond milk guy, so I
I
don't
don't
blame.
do any of that nut milk shit. Uh-uh. I don't do any of that nut milk shit. It spikes your blood sugar, bro. But I hear
It
you. I hear you.
it does, but the milk goes in one way and wants to come out the other in a matter of seconds. So you've got to be
Oh, okay.
careful.
Listen. If,
Yeah.
if you're lactose intolerant, that's a whole different conversation. But we drink grass-fed whole milk around here. Right? This is America. That's what I drink. So none of this shit, Wesley. I know that you're sitting there in Norway with your fancy fucking icicles, but get fucked. All right, Jerry. Sorry. Continue.
But yeah, so for me, I'm looking at that. Um, I'm looking at the defense to stay the same. I want the midfield to stay the same. I just keep some momentum going. I think you have to once you're going on a run. Um, the forwards done well. Ekitika has to start. Verts obviously scored, so you're going to play him. And then unless you want to move Verts to the right hand side, but then you're
No,
changing
no, no. We
something.
already we,
No,
we already saw that.
we've
Frankfurt.
seen that. We've seen that. So Chiesa's going to play on the right. It'll be Verts on the left, and Ekitika up front with Gakpo coming off the bench. And from now, that's good. It gives us some depth off the bench as well. It means that we're not just relying on Rio to come on and do something. We've got
Well,
someone
Rio
there.
Rio can't come on. Rio
Oh,
Rio
no,
can't.
he's
Yeah,
had enough minutes, so he can't come on. He's just
yeah.
there for bench experience, I guess.
Remember, we don't want to block his path, by the way. Remember that narrative, guys. We don't want to block Rio Ngamoa's path to the first team.
Exactly. So for me, that's what I'm looking for. But I think this game will be easier for Leeds purely based on the fact that there's not going to be an onus on them to have to dominate the ball. And Leeds fans, they've got an expectation. They want them to play, and nah, against they're going to sit back. They're going to go direct, and they're going to cause teams problem. And look, Calvert-Lewin's been scoring goals, and the type of striker he is, it just doesn't bode well. And you know he's got the
No,
Everton links,
no.
and it's not.
Direct and
Listen,
physical.
direct, physical. Doesn't want to play with his feet. Just wants it in the air. Gets on the shoulder, on the blind side of the centre back. You can imagine Konate a lot of the time just being dunked on. Do you know what I mean? Whether it
Oh,
goes in or
come on.
not,
I'm not doing this shit. I'm
but
not
you,
doing this
but you,
fucking
but you,
Kanate
but
slander.
no, not the slander. It's not slander because I think he's been decent. But I'm saying you can imagine him just pulling off onto that side of Konate where Konate doesn't know where he is. I'm not saying he's going to score, but it's going to be hit on his head and then Calvert Lewin coming in and just trying to bully him or dunk on him. Listen,
Listen,
whether he slams it in,
off of a set piece right now, every single Liverpool player has proved that they can get fucked. Like
oh no,
off
no,
of a
this
set piece.
set pieces we're finished. I'm talking about in game in the actual game
I
because
mean,
9 times out of 10 you're not gonna go down Virgil's side in terms of aerially. You won't.
yeah,
It will be the
yeah, no,
other
no, no,
side.
no, no,
So
no.
he's
You're
gonna
gonna go
peel off.
down.
So he's gonna peel off onto that side, and Konate is either gonna follow him in, which creates a massive gap, or he's gonna have to stay in the center and kind of just judge it as it's being kicked. We see it all the time. So I don't know. That's what I'm expecting. But I mean, look, I'm
I hear
expecting a
you. I hear
Liverpool
you.
win. I'm expecting a Liverpool win, but anything can happen. And I wouldn't be surprised if it ends up being 2-1 Leeds, 1-1 Liverpool Leeds. I wouldn't be surprised.
I don't. Okay, so I made a on Husam's show. I made a prophetic claim. I told everyone head straight to Polymarket and make this bet. Bet that Liverpool won't have a shot on target in the first 30 minutes of the game. Now it took 40 minutes, so you would have smashed that bet. I think it's going to be a little bit different this time. I think the bet to make is that we will have a shot on target by the 10th minute. I think, listen, as negative as I've been, I don't think that we're going to lose this game. I don't really even think that we're going to draw this game because of the fact that I'm sensing more confidence from the individuals. I'm sensing more confidence from Ekitike. I'm sensing more confidence from Florian Wirtz. And I think that our individual quality alone can get us over the line. At the end of the day, that Leeds game, based on the circumstances, could have gone another way. We made mistakes. It's also away from home. And we are way more prone to lapses away from home than we are at home this season. when we're in a winning position. But I'm a very much a gut feeling guy, and I can't see Leeds. Like, my gut feeling has usually been right this season, and I can't see Leeds getting anything from Anfield. But that has nothing to do with the style of football that we're playing, and that has just more to do with what my gut feeling is. I do think I am worried, like you said, about the long ball, but it seems that at least lately I haven't been seeing it as much. You know, when at the beginning of the season, when I would check the stats and I'd look at United or Crystal Palace, it'd be like 70 long balls played against Liverpool. That's almost one a minute, you know, like that's a lot. That's a lot of heaving.
Yeah.
I'm not seeing that as much. Even against teams that
Why do you
have,
think that's the case? Why do you think that's the case then?
you see, this is the difficult thing. There's many different reasons why that could be the case. One of it could be that we're not pressing. Like, we don't have an expansive press, which
Yeah.
means that we have players back behind, which means that, you know, when the center back gets the ball and he looks up, he's not really being rushed. And at least in my mind, a long ball is most effective when under the duress of a press, because
Of
that means that
course.
players are out of position, and then that means I can ping one. But if no one's really pressing me, all of a sudden I have all of this time and I look up and I see all my options. It's not a good
Yeah.
play. It's not a high percentage play. So because we're not pressing as much, I don't think that teams are playing long balls as much. Now, it doesn't change the fact that that presents a whole new category of problems, but we've proven that at least we're not conceding 3 goals while doing that, except
Mm.
against Leeds away. But you know what? The minor thing will happen here and there. But yeah, I don't think that we're making ourselves too open. But what are your thoughts on? Because I know that you spoke about Florian Wirtz being on the left.
Mm.
How do you feel about him playing there? Because I don't necessarily like it, even though he is improving. I don't like it.
I think it's the best position for him in the Premier League, unfortunately, and the way Liverpool play. I compare it to when Coutinho played. And I remember when we had Coutinho and Brendan Rodgers tried to do the diamond, there was a couple of games he tried to play Coutinho in the 10 with the 2 strikers. And yes, you could see Coutinho's kind of influence on the ball and stuff. But I think it always worked well when he was off the left and had the freedom to cut in. And I think what that does is when Wirtz holds the width, whether Kirkes makes an underlap or an overlap, he has to just react to what Wirtz is doing. It simplifies Kirkes' game. And then Wirtz is the better player with regards to playing the pass at the right time. If it is a Kirkes, popping it into a gap, then he's got that whole area to drift into and then to create space. Now, yes, his obviously goal came through the centre, but that and the chance he played for Ekitike came down the centre. But it came from the fact that Ekitike moved out left for his for
Also,
obviously for
transition.
Wirtz's goal, and it was transition exactly. So and the one where he played that pass to Ekitike and when he had that shot that hit the post, that was all transition. So in transition, Wirtz can be anywhere in transition, really. Like he could be on if we play in transition, he could play on the right and he'd still be effective. But I think
Yeah.
he naturally wants to be on the left to just kind of cut in on the right hand side. That's where he kind of played. He played in one of the 2 10s, but the left hand sided one for Bayer Leverkusen. It probably suits him more playing off the left. When he's central now, there's a bit more cogs that are moving. It's like when if he tries to drift that to the left, Gakpo's got to go in the centre, but Gakpo doesn't want to go in the centre because he wants to stay on the left, get it to feet, and then cut in. But he needs the space in front of him because he's not going to take it on the back foot. It then means that Kirkes has to make the underlapping run if they're both on the left, trying to drift and find that space. It's what we spoke about before. Remember when we had like Ekitike or Isak, Gakpo, Wirtz, all just towards that left hand side, and there's just no one in the middle of the pitch. There's no one in the middle of in the middle of the goal. No one in the middle of the pitch. It's just this vacancy. So it probably works better when you've just got their midfielders just doing what they've got to do and allowing Wirtz to be like, look, just stay out on the left. Defensively, that's your responsibility. But when we're in possession, just have the freedom to just pop around. And that's why we're probably seeing a better Wirtz. Is that the ideal situation? No, I'd want him to be the centre of everything and get as many touches of the ball as possible. But is that going to be possible in this Liverpool team with this manager, with this style of play in the Premier League?
No,
I
no.
don't know. I don't know.
I mean, I don't even necessarily think it has to do within the Premier League. I just think it has to do with the fact that we. So the changes that I have seen over these last 5 games is that the old problem was that we were too wide and we had no one in the middle. The new problem is that we have everyone in one area in the middle, but we still have players wide. So like you've just changed the scope of the gap, if that sort of makes sense. And I think that the issue, at least in possession, when I see Verts on the left or even Cody Gakpo on the left, is that we're just too spread out. I think that if we played more compact, Verts could work anywhere. I think that if we played more compact, Verts could work in the middle. The issue is that no matter where the ball is relative to the pitch, the way that Liverpool set up in possession, we're just so spread. Like there was one screenshot that I saw. Let me see if I can find it. Because basically it sort of it highlights. Hold on, I gotta go. I gotta make a Liverpool Twitter so that I don't have all these random ass fucking bookmarks in between. Here we go. Here we go. So something like this, right? So basically what you see here, right? So this is against Tottenham. So we've sort of changed it to where we're now trying to overload the center. But like to me, the thing that jumps out the most to me, right, is that, yeah, sure. Like I've been yelling about the center all season, right? But what have you done besides overloading the center? Look at how much space there still is between Connor Bradley and the rest of the team. Or I believe that is Milos Kerkez and the rest of the team. It's like the issue is that you're too spread wide. Like there's
But you
too much.
thing is you have to do that.
In
The
moments,
reason,
yes.
no, but the reason why I say that, right, is that the team right now, Tottenham, right, Jed Spence has now got a problem. Can you see how he can see as Jones picks up the ball in that on that right hand side, Jed Spence has to jump out to Bradley. So you can already see him. He's starting to run towards Bradley, right, in that corner.
Yeah.
Exactly, right.
And then which
When
leaves Gravenberch
you
space in
have
with
to
him.
either space out with your fullbacks or you space out with your wingers. You have to. Even Pep Guardiola spoke about it. When you're in possession of the football, you have to make the pitch as big as possible. That's where our ability on the ball and be able to find these passes has to be good. Now, yes, the midfield have to move together as a unit to go and combine. But the outside players, especially if we haven't got any, we need them to create the width because then it's so easy for Spurs to just be like, oh, everyone's in the centre, perfect. They're making the pitch small. It means that defensively, we just have to go and keep it. When they're too stretched away, ideally, let's be honest, Bradley, we don't. He's not Trent. It's not like we need him on the ball, right? It's like, all right, if he's there, cool, get forward. You're going to be our outlet, and the same for Kirkes. So really, what we've done is put all our best passers or the players that are better on the ball inside the middle of the pitch, which means that now we force them to go narrow, and it means we can isolate a Bradley or a Kirkes into the areas that people want to see them, right? Which is 1v1 against their fullback or wing back or whoever. Tap it past them and smash the ball across the box.
Well, would it? Okay, I'll just walk through my thought process,
Yeah, walk through
and then you can see if it makes sense. When I look at this picture, what I would rather see, right? So I have no issue with where Curtis Jones is, but to me, I feel like Connor Bradley holding the width, that's fine. I totally agree. You need width. You need width to create. You need width to create space. But I would just so like when I'm looking at this picture right now, Ryan Gravenberch is completely static. He's not moving, right? Like you can see he's not in motion. You can tell who is in motion and who isn't in motion. Connor Bradley is static. Gravenberch is static. Soboslai is doing his regular thing of just jogging. McAllister ain't doing jack shit. Ekitike is where he should be. I feel like it would make more sense in this position if these five were just closer to here, if that makes sense, right? Like when I say compact, I mean, you can still have the same shape and movement, dragging players, but you're shrinking the pitch. I think that the issue with us is that we don't shrink the pitch, if that makes sense. I think great teams can shrink the pitch in possession. If Gravenberch was on, or at least moving to the other side of Bergvall, if Soboslai was
I
coming
think it's
here,
timing. But I think it's timing, right? So the problem is, right, what you want to do if this midfielder just constantly moves towards the ball or comes across, right, it makes the job of Tottenham really, really easy. The reason why I think that's McAllister. I think
Right
that is
here?
him. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, the deepest
This
midfielder,
this is Soboslai.
Sobo. Okay, cool. So the reason why Sobo is standing there, right? Because what he's doing is saying, "Go on, we've got the ball." Remember, it's a tactical game, right? It's all right. We've got the ball. Jones is going to start to creep up with the ball. We've got three here, so we've overloaded 3 versus 2. If they jump to go and try and press, Sobo gets it on the half turn and he's free. It's already dominating that area. Hence why he's standing there. You don't want him to move from there at all. What you're doing is saying, best example to use. Do you remember the Caicedo goal?
Yeah.
That Chelsea scored. Do you remember when Caicedo was just standing there for ages, and you saw Sobo and the midfielders trying to shift across. They didn't want to jump because they'd rather have Badia Shiu on the ball in that region or any player with the ball in their half than allowing the ball to get into Sobo's side. That's why they've gone with a two, because they know, all right, cool. There's one pivot. We're going to double up on that pivot there, right? So block off the pass. They want the ball to go to Jones. They want the ball to go to Konate. They want the ball to go to Bradley. They have to keep the width, right? The problem you've got, not the problem, but what's going to happen, and this is what it is, it's timing, isn't it? If Gravenberch moves in front of Richarlison straight away, Richarlison can see him now, right? So Richarlison, I think that's Richarlison or whoever that is, or Bergval. I think
Bergvall?
it's Bergval.
Bergvall.
Yeah, that's Bergval.
Bergvall.
Cool. Right, Bergval. So Bergval, right, as Jones is approaching, this is the problem they've got. He's got to try and block that passing lane into that player, right? You've got Bradley, who's standing out here, dragging Jed Spence across. He's making the run across to that side as well, right? And as Jones starts to approach, whoever that's up front, I think it's Mattis Tell, he has to jump at Jones. At a certain point, he has to press him. He can't just allow him to creep up all the way to into that area.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
But
yeah, yeah.
so as that happens, that's when the pass is released. Gravenberch then makes a run. So as the ball's popped into Bradley, right, as Tell presses, you've broken the press. Bradley receives the ball. He's now got a pass straight into Soboslai or Gravenberch that takes Bergval away. If Gravenberch takes Bergval away, who's our striker that has to drop in those pockets? Ekitike.
Yeah.
Ekitike is standing on the last man, not because he wants it there. He's trying to stretch that team as much as possible to then show. When he goes and shows, what run is Verts making in behind him?
Yeah.
And it's constant rotations. Like, I think in this actual still, I get what you're saying, but Liverpool, again, to play possession football and make the pitch as small as possible when you don't have to is insane. It is insane. Like, you have to be so good in possession to be like, we're going to make the pitch small on purpose. Defensively, 100%. You try to make it as compact as possible. You even tell people, let that winger stay out there on the wide. We're not even worried about him. As soon as the ball's switched, we're going to get across and we'll shift across as a team. You want to make the pitch as big as possible. You want to make that defense have to move from left to right to left to right, because as they start to do that, the gaps start to open up. So now, obviously, in an ideal situation, you want to go through the middle. But let's say it doesn't work out. So the ball goes to Bradley, right? Jed Spence follows across. Ekitike makes the run across, or Gravenberch makes that run across. So that whole team shifts across. This is where my problem is, and I think you've spoken about it before. That's when that ball's got to go from Bradley. It's got to go miss Jones out. It's got to go bang into Konate. Konate bang into Kirkes, because Kirkes is now the one that's free. It's got to be
Yeah.
quick.
Yeah.
And the quicker we move the ball when the pitch is like that, the more Spurs have to move left to right. That's when we can create the gaps. But if we
Well,
move the ball slow and then we're compact, it makes it so easy defensively for them. It's like
okay,
playing.
so
It's like playing on a five-a-side. Like, the pitch is that big. It's like saying, "Yeah, let's just play a match in one half and just make it really small." It just doesn't make it. They're more likely to win the ball back. It's less distance to cover.
no, I 100% agree. But I guess the issue that I have with the way that we play like this, the reason why I think we need to shrink the pitch is because of how slow we move the ball, right? Like, what I'm seeing, especially in a picture like this, right? More often than not, what I would see is Curtis Jones is going to pass the ball to Connor Bradley. Gravenberch isn't going to fucking move. Soboslai isn't going to fucking move. Ekitike isn't going to fucking move. I'm not going to see any off-ball movement from any of these players. So basically, you've done the first part right, but then there is no second part because no one's making a run. No one's dragging a defender. Everyone is staying static. Everyone is being told this is the position that you occupy. you stay here. And I'm just thinking, if you want to play this static, this complacent, everyone in rigid positions, everyone in rigid zones, then you need to shrink the pitch. I would agree. If you're going to play this, wide football, the one caveat is that the players have to be making runs. The players have to be constantly moving. Otherwise, it becomes very easy for Tottenham to defend this. They just know, all right, these guys really aren't drifting. These guys really aren't making runs. They're not really, forcing me to get out of my position. I've got 2 players in front of Szoboszlai. I've got 3 players in front of these 2. I've got 3 players equal with these 2, and they're not moving. They're not doing anything to make me produce effort, to make me get out of position. If that makes sense. I think that what you're saying tactically, yes, that is, the way that someone with a coaching badge would say it. But when I watch the football, I'm not seeing the movement from
That's
the
the
players
problem.
that don't have the ball that makes this effective, right? So like I'm looking at, you're playing slow and you're super wide, which means that the other team, it's not dangerous, right?
But this is the problem. But this is the problem, right? If we narrow that up, and because I agree, right? I agree, but because I think Liverpool don't move. I think that there's so many times they don't move, or when the player moves, they don't pass to him. You see Vert showing a gap, they don't give it to him. It just goes back to Konate, then back to Virgil, then back to it's crazy, right? But what I'm saying is, if you make this smaller, if you move everyone closer together, and players aren't moving, you have to move. Put it this way: when you're playing a rondo, you're playing small-sided games. You have to move more. Like you actually have to move more,
but
right?
Jerry, so the reason why I say that is because I have seen in very tiny spells this season where we do compact the pitch and we just ping it around. We just ping pong all around. I saw it in preseason against Bilbao. I saw it a lot last season where there would be moments in the games where we would just it would just naturally become a super tight pitch and Liverpool were just pinging it. One touch, one touch, one touch, one touch. I think that these players are capable. And when the game naturally forces those positions, we see it. Like we've seen it with Ekitike and Florian Wirtz and Szoboszlai and Gravenberch. Like we've seen it in spells this season. The issue is that for some reason, we're not thinking to ourselves, let's create more of that, right? We just see it very sparsely and sporadically. And it's almost like we're not even trying to make that
All right.
happen.
So
It's
at
just
that
the way
point,
that it
right?
flows.
All right. Exactly. So I agree with that. But let's say in those situations, let's say we decided, all right, cool, if you're going to narrow the pitch up and we're going to play like this. We can do it, but we have to admit it makes it easier for a team to win the ball back. They've got less distance to
But
cover,
yes,
right?
absolutely.
Cool. If we can't press as well as we have done in the past, I mean, we used to press like fantastically well, probably the best pressing team in the world of football,
And now we don't
world
press at
football.
all. Yeah.
And now we don't press at all. If we try to press or we try to make the pitch compact and we're trying to play in their half, so we're really narrow, but we're in their half, what happens to the team that's just got the wing back that's just going to cheat, that's just going to be like, I'm going to stay out wide? And the ball just gets switched over to him and then we're on a counter attack, because this is something we saw in pre-season. I remember that Japanese team we faced, that's exactly what happened. We're keeping the ball. We lost it. All of a sudden just went, boop, long ball over the top,
Well,
over to the left-hand side, and then they went and had a scored, I believe.
I don't think so. When I say that let's shrink the pitch, I don't think that we need every player to shrink the pitch. I don't like in this situation, right? If Szoboszlai was closer to Tell, if Gravenberch was on the other side of Bergvall, if McAllister was here, you could still have Florian basically. In my eyes, you're just shifting everyone one person this way. You're not 100% committing. You're not saying, all right, Curtis Jones has the ball on the right. Every single person go to the right side of the pitch. There's no switch. There's nothing. I'm saying that if everyone just moved one person's position over, all of a sudden you have options. All of a sudden, if Curtis Jones gets the ball to Connor Bradley here, I'm looking and I'm saying, I don't think Gravenberch is making a run. Bergvall is going to close down Bradley. Jed Spence is going to close down Bradley. Bradley's going to have to kick it back. Tell is going to come here. So there's no passing lane here. There's no passing lane here based on the way that we move the ball. But if Szoboszlai were closer to Tell, if Gravenberch was on the other side of Bergvall, if Ekitike were moving this way, if McAllister was sort of where I don't even know who this is, Archie Gray is, all of a sudden you have more options when Connor Bradley gets the ball. There's more things that he can do in this position rather than just receive and pass back, right? So I think it's a combination of shrinking the pitch, but also not fully committing to the side. Like
Yeah,
I
I
don't
get what
think
you're
it's
saying.
I don't think it's a major change. I just think that when I look at this team and build up, it's so rigid that it's almost like players are not playing naturally. It's like they're sticking to a position that doesn't even make sense at certain times in the game because they're being told to stick in that position. And the only player that I see that doesn't do it is Curtis Jones. Curtis Jones is the only one where in a moment we'll say, I'm not doing this. I see 20 yards in front of me. Let me just run into this and see what happens. I'm not going to sit here and play this loop-de-loop ball. Or I think there was one moment, it might have even been this moment where Curtis Jones just tried to play one in behind. But he seems to be the only midfielder that does that. Obviously, listen, I don't have coaching badges. I'm not a coach, but it's just like when I see the team, it's just we're so rigid that it doesn't make sense to be so wide, if that makes sense. Like if you're going
No,
to
I
be
get you.
wide, you want to move. Like City can be wide because City move, but also, if City were building up in a back three, you bet your ass Reinders is going to be here. And you bet your ass another midfielder's here and another midfielder's here. And yeah, sure, your wingers are expansive, but number one, they have more pace, and number two, they have more technical ability. So that makes more sense. But the midfield is supporting the back line. I mean, I just see 1, 2, 3, 0, right? 2 players, 1, and then 4, if that makes sense. But again,
Yeah.
the
No,
way I describe football is not going to be of a coaching stature because I'm just a dude in California with overgrown facial hair.
no. Listen, I agree. Listen, I think it's about the movement. I do think because I think even if we were just static but just close together, I think it'd be even worse. Because now you're expecting the players to pass so precisely, right? And that yes, you've labelled a couple players that can do it, and at times they can do it. If a team knows you're doing that all the time, and they're not wary of, oh, they could switch at any point or they're going to stretch the pitch, it makes it a problem. But I get what you're saying. Although I am happier looking at that structure there. Is in it looks like, oh, okay, this is a team that's trying to play football and trying to dominate certain areas, as opposed to, again, the theory, isn't it, of players all making a massive circle, a donut in the middle of the pitch, and then keeping the middle free, and then just guessing when they should drop in there to get the ball. And look, when it works, in theory, it will be good, but it just didn't work
I
with
mean,
Barney Cook.
I, I'm still, but the thing is though, is that like that was just one still, right? And that was from the 21st minute. I'm still seeing a plethora, right? A categorical sample size of Liverpool get the ball further up the pitch into the final third, and we still are vacating the middle. Like there's still the amount of times where I'll see, let's say we're working down the left-hand side. So the amount of times I'll see Florian Wirtz, Milos Kerkez, maybe 10 yards from each other, and then another 30 yards to get to Ekitike with 2 defenders in between Wirtz and Ekitike, and then just a midfielder hanging back behind. Like we still vacate the middle in the final third all the time. I mean, we had 203 passes in the opposition final third against Tottenham, and we had less shots than Tottenham did, and they had 9 men. They had 10 men. And then and then someone responded when I said that fact. Someone responded to me and they said, "Well, that's what happens when you play a low block." And I'm like, that okay, like you're pigeonholing something. That's one half of the story. Yes, the other team is playing a low block, but it doesn't change the fact that you're not moving the ball with intent, right? Like you're just lethargically passing it around and around and around and around. Like, I don't know, maybe I'm crazy, but I just think that we vacate the middle, and then when we overload the middle, we vacate the movement. It's like every time we do one thing right, there's another thing that we're just ignoring.
Yeah,
And
I agree.
it just keeps switching places. And
That's exactly what it is.
like right now, we look a little bit better defensively, but let's be honest, teams have been categorically shit in front of goal against us. I mean, Brighton
And, and,
literally
we,
has
and, we're,
won.
and we've had an easier run. Remember, this is the run that was supposed to be. Oh, I mean, Slot. This is going to be the one that saves his job, right? If we can get to that run, then we can pick up points. The real, tests will start to come in the new year. We've got Arsenal in a couple of weeks or next week or whatever.
Did you watch
You
the
know,
game yesterday? Did you
I
watch the
heard,
Arsenal game?
I didn't watch
Listen,
it, but I heard,
Villa were very wasteful in the first half. I'll just put it that way. But
no, I heard,
4-1's
and there was
4-1.
and there was a red card shout as well from Marino, wasn't there?
I mean, listen, Gabriel on the first goal goes up and throws his elbow into Emi Martinez, but I guess that doesn't count as obstruction. Arsenal did take two goals very well, though. Zubamendi's goal was fantastic.
Jesus' one
Jesus'
was good.
goal
Yeah,
was fantastic. But listen, Villa had chances in that first half, and they just couldn't get it over the line.
but sometimes that's what
Nonetheless,
football is, isn't it? Ultimately, they win 4-1. So
yeah, listen, 4-1 is it's hard to argue with, and that game is away from home. That game is at the Emirates. That's a very formidable defense. It's a very formidable ground. Yeah, I don't even want to think about that game. But you are correct. This is supposed to be the stretch where we're playing the vastly inferior sides to us. And so we should be churning these results in. But the performances, like I'm at the point where I don't care about the results. I don't give a shit about the results in the Premier League. I need to see performances so that I can see something consistent and sustainable to try to win the Champions League, because the Premier League's done.
yeah,
You are not winning 19 out of 20. We're not doing that.
of course.
That's what
Listen, if
that's
we
what you have to
did,
do.
if we did,
I would sit here and profusely apologize.
no, I would never. I don't. No, no. Put it this way: I will never stream again. I'll never stream. I'll never stream again. Nothing to do with Liverpool. And that's what I'll do. I'll never stream again with anything to do with Liverpool ever. If
Why?
Liverpool ended up winning the league, why? Because the laws of physics, the laws of the universe would have lied to me. The laws that have been studied and examined for thousands of years, since Socrates, to Newton, to now, to Einstein. No, 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 no. What?
Well,
If Liverpool won the
okay.
league,
Let's just put it this way. If we are in a completely hypothetical world, do Liverpool possess the quality of player to potentially go on a 19 out of 20 win run? Possibly, given the individual talent that we have on the pitch. Maybe. I don't think that's not like trying to win the lottery. I think you have much better odds of doing that than winning the lottery. But that would mean that Arne Slot would have to pull his head out of his ass. That, I think, I have a better chance of winning the lottery for. There's a better chance of me hitting the Powerball for $2 billion than Arne Slot totally changing his philosophy and changing the way that we play. If we did, I think that would mean that City and Arsenal both had to fall off. If we won this league, I could only imagine us doing it with if we somehow got to 82 points.
no. But listen, if we won the league, that means Slot's hit. He's earned a lifetime contract. He's never leaving. He's never leaving.
This is the problem. Listen, if he wins the Champions League, he's here next season. I still want to win the Champions League because I don't want this whole year to go to waste. But at the same time,
But all right, do you? All right, this is a good hypothetical, right? Do you go and win the Champions League? Do you make a deal with the devil and win the Champions League? But it means that Arne Slot is here for the next 10 years, right? And obviously, you don't know how it could go. It could be amazing, but it could be rubbish. Or do you sacrifice the season to bring in any manager of your choice?
Well, listen, I said 6 weeks ago that I want this bald cuck out of the fucking football club because it was stage 1, and now I got people saying it's stage 4. Thank you for ripping that, all those people out there. But regardless, I would probably lean to saying, you know what, I'm a logical person. Let's just bin the season. It is what it is. Let's get this guy going. But I don't see that happening. I mean, at the end of the day, we have Marseille and Karabakh. Those are both winnable games. You finish in the top 8. Listen, I think anything is technically winnable with Liverpool based on individual quality alone. The
That's
likelihood
true.
of that, the
That's true.
likelihood of that is that's a different argument. But even if we drew to Marseille and we beat Karabakh, I'm pretty sure we would still be in the top 8. You get to the top 8, all of a sudden, straight to the round of 16. Once you're in Europe, I mean, anything could fucking
Anything
happen.
can happen.
Last year,
Anything can happen.
yeah, last year we got the short end of the stick, and we played, the team that would go on to become the champions. But let's not forget that Kwanzaa hit the post in the 76th minute. Like, we were this close to drawing that game and it not going to pens. Obviously, once extra time happened, PSG, it was all them, but doesn't change the fact that the margin there was razor thin. And what would have happened if we had beat PSG? I don't
And
know.
Trent hit the post as well, isn't it? Trent hit the post.
Trent hit the post. Kwanzaa hit the post off of the free kick late in the game. We had opportunities, and in the 90 minutes, PSG didn't do shit. It was in extra time where all of a sudden they just, you saw the belief just wipe out from the players, and PSG began to take over. And obviously, Donnarumma is one of the best penalty goalkeepers on the planet. But yeah. I mean, I could see us going deep in. I mean, I still think that if we played an English team, we'd get fucked. But I don't know. I mean, I want to see the team win, but you are correct in the statement of at what cost? At what cost are we going to win? I also don't even know what the floor is for this administration. Like I don't know what the cutoff point is for Arne Slot and his tenure. Like, is it when we're 20 points off the top? Is it when we're 10 points off top 4? When are you going to say enough is enough? But that's something only FSG could tell us. But either way, I don't want to keep you for too long. So, the game tomorrow. Who do you think are going to be the standout performers, and how do you think the game is going to end?
Jones will be a standout performer. I think. Does Sobo come back in for this game, do you think?
Yeah, no, 100%. Not even a question.
So who comes out?
I think.
Or does Sobo start on the right and Chiesa gets dropped? Oh, no.
You could.
That's what's going to happen. That's what's going to happen.
I can easily see that. I mean, I think Frimpong is going to start. I think Kirkes is going to start. Frimpong, Konate, Virgil, Kirkes, Jones, Maka, Sobo, Gravenberch, Wirtz, and Ekitike.
Oh yeah, so yeah, Sobo's on the right. Yeah, Chiesa, unfortunately, you're better off just, packing your bags from now. So you just pack them now, so you can eat your 12 grapes. Under the table.
Not fair, bro.
It's not fair, but so I think Wirtz will do well. I think Wirtz will do well, and I think Ekitike will score. I do think he will score. Those are my standouts for me.
How many goals do you think are going to be in this game?
3.
2-1 to Liverpool?
Or 2-1 to Leeds.
I
think he's going to go either way. I don't know. I just do is I don't trust this team defensively. So at any given point, they could just score a set piece and then someone Kirkes makes an error or Frimpong makes an error, penalty, and that's it. And we could be winning the game through excellent. And it could just turn on its head like that. And the fans are still. Anfield isn't a fortress the way it used to be. So I think
it's a library. It's a library.
Exactly. Even the fans feel like. You can see that the fans feel vulnerable, especially when a team's attacking. It doesn't seem as imperious as it did. So, yeah, I think Liverpool 2-1. I think Leeds do score. I think we can't stop them scoring. Unfortunately, with the way Liverpool play at this moment in time, whether it's a set piece or not. But I think Liverpool do win, and I think Ekitike will get the first goal.
Did you see the clip? So I was watching the game, and the game against Wolves. There was a moment in time where the commentator stopped talking for like 2 seconds, and you can hear someone behind him like multiple times in the match, and he was screaming like, "Where's the fucking tempo? Like, what are we doing? Like, what's the structure?" And I'm just like, "Yo, it's like finally someone in the ground is fucking saying the same thing. Finally, someone who sits there and is lucky enough to watch the game is looking at this team and saying, why are you moving the ball like a bunch of geriatric senior citizens who play for a fucking retirement home? It doesn't make any sense." And like the issue that I have is that I think I think that if that's our sense of control, we're going to lull ourselves into dangerous positions. And I think that ultimately, like all of the defensive critiques that people have had of this team this season, they all stem from the way that we possess the ball, the pace that we choose to play the game. Like, let's just put it this way. In any game, in any way, shape, or form, half of it is mental, right? If I decide to approach the game at a certain pace, and let's call that a 3 out of 10, and then you decide to ramp it up to a 10 out of 10, how often am I going to be able to make the jump from 3 to 10? How consistently am I going to be able to make the jump from 3 to 10? And I think that's where Liverpool get caught. Will Leeds be able to consistently do that? I'm not sure. Are they going to be able to consistently play long balls, play direct? Who knows? If we don't press, it's going to be less likely. But if I see the slow, lethargic, bullshit senior citizen style of football, I will be upset. I will be scared. But I think the first 15 minutes of this game are going to tell us a lot on who's playing where, what's, where's the intensity, where is the intent. But I just have a gut feeling that we're not going to lose or draw this game. I think that we're going to win out until we play Arsenal. And then all hell is going to break loose. But either way, Leeds are a dangerous side, and Leeds, last time they played at Anfield, they did one over us, and we all remember it because Jesse March beat Jurgen Klopp in his last appearance at Anfield. Not only did he do that, he pulled the Diego Simeone, and he just sprinted the whole length of the touchline to celebrate with the opposition fans. Or the Jose Mourinho.
That was a great performance from him, though. I actually like Jesse Marsh. I like him.
Yeah, I mean, I listen, as a coach, I think he's very passionate. And I think passion
translates. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, listen, that's why I like Darwin. It's why I like Chiesa. Chiesa shows me a lot of passion on the pitch.
That's why you like Kirkers, right?
Hey, listen, I'm a passion merchant. All right, I need someone who wants to die. That's why I love Curtis Jones. Curtis Jones threw a punch for me.
You like Pat Bev, isn't it?
You like Pat Beverly?
Yeah.
Pat's kind of a dickhead. Yeah, I know that, but sometimes passion's too much. Like it's very. I mean, listen.
You end up being like Nunes and fighting people in the crowd and.
Well, I mean, like, for instance, like a rival player, I think the passion that Gabriel shows,
yeah,
that's what I would want to see. Like, at the end of that game, they were up 4-1, and he makes a clearing header, and he just like celebrates like he scored a goal. Like, that's what I want to see out of my players. Like that's the kind of thing that I want, because that shows me someone who wants to die for me. Obviously, metaphorically speaking, not literally, but Either way, Liverpool tomorrow, 9:30, 5:30 UK time. A lot of questions hopefully will be answered, but I have a strange feeling we're going to win, but we will have more questions that we're asking, and we will have less answers, which seems to be the common motif of this season. But big up to everyone. Big up to you, Jerry. I appreciate you.
Anytime, man. Like I said, I'll be back here tomorrow if I'm not busy.
Hey, listen.
To be fair, I'll put it this way. I'll be less busy to come on this stream than I will be for the game.
There you go. Well, we will be here after the game for the recap. Big up to everyone for hanging out. Drop a like, hit a subscribe. Happy New Year to everybody. Happy New Year's Eve. Stay safe tonight. Don't do anything fucking stupid. And just because it is what we do on this channel, let us hope and let us pray that we will not be sitting here at the end of the game doing this, singing this.
No. We're completely fucked.
We're completely fucked.
Let us hope that is not what we will be singing at the end of the game. Big up to everyone. Appreciate you. We're out of here. Take care.